Hello and welcome back to Chess of Blades, and we're gonna figure out what the heck Franz is doing here, fighting a guard. So he approaches the guard with an aggressive stance, a fiercely focused look in his eyes. In one hand, Franz holds a long, elegant sword, while his other grips a dagger, two blades pointed edge, gleaming with lethal sharpness. Also, did I pause? No, okay. Celeste backs into a corner, staring at Franz with wide eyes. Looks like she recognizes him. Well, she would, wouldn't she? Celeste said Franz was watching her at the party. But this is no time to think about it. What is happening? The guard, who just as tall as Franz, maybe even a little broader, brings a sword down in a savage cut. Franz darts back, moving surprisingly quick. Then as the guard recovers, Franz dashes back in, sweeping at the man's exposed neck. Barely manages to block in time, the guard uses his bulky strength to savagely chop forward. Only to be parried with the fast swipe of Franz's dagger. It's clear that Franz is the quicker man, but he's got none of the guard's armor, and his blades won't pierce anywhere but weak points.
I can dance all night, you know. Better give up while you can, or we'll bore our lovely audience.
The tree blocks back and forth at increasing speeds. The guard's movement resembles a field soldier, while Franz looks like a court-trained fencer, elegant and swift. Desperately looking around for a way to help, my eyes fall upon a heavy-looking candlestick lying nearby. Grab a hold of it with both hands, lifting its sturdy weight, then focuses my gaze on the guard's back.
You fat metal can!
Fat metal can! With all my strength, I hurl the candlestick towards the armored man. Slams into his flank, an awful mix of a thud and clang, sending him staggering off balance. Franz doesn't hesitate for a moment, looking forward to plant his boot into the guard's knees. Sure enough, our attacker goes tumbling to the floor, landing headfirst against a heavy crate.
That's got to hurt a little.
I imagine it's gonna hurt a lot. Once he wakes up, can't help but wince at the guard's head lolls to one side, while likely knocking him completely unconscious. Did he get hurt? After sheathing his two blades in the scabbards attached to his belt, Franz lowers it down onto one knee in front of the man's limp form, yanking his helmet off. The guard's revealed face resembles that of a mercenary more than anything. The savage scar across one eye, broken-looking nose, lips permanently curled into a cruel expression.
Why did a guard attack us? Are we wanted criminals?
No, I got a feeling the guard is actually in disguise. Celeste's trembling voice comes from where she's still huddled in the corner, biting her lip nervously. Shaken up too, although an unusual sense of exhilaration permeates me as much as anything else.
I'd wager that this is no guard. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing, using the armor to try and hide his identity.
Thought so.
I'm sure Glasses will love to have a little chat with him in the dungeons. I almost feel sorry for this poor fool.
Oh, I imagine Linus would have all sorts of ways to interrogate them. Studied the guard's shape curiously, my mind flittering the words Celeste was telling me just minutes ago.
Celeste, could this man be one of the figures you saw last night in the bushes?
It is? She blinks at my words, cautiously examining the unconscious man while stepping closer.
I think he's the same one. If he was wearing that armor, then that explains why he looks so bulky.
Oh, that would. So then who was the small man?
It seems he wanted to get rid of both of you at once. I bet he was afraid you were getting close to figuring things out.
I mean, the part is almost over. We're like on day 3 or 2, I think. Breathe a slight sigh of relief at knowing our attacker will be safely locked up for now, yet a sense of uneasiness continues to tingle down my spine.
Celeste saw two people together last night. There must still be another murderer out there. One clever enough to not get so easily caught like this bastard.
grim silence followed my words along with a foreboding cloud that weighs heavily in the air. Rather than feeling safe, I can't help but dread the idea that the second murder is going to target us even more, now that we've captured their co-conspirator. After a few long, tense moments, Franz finally pulls himself back up to his feet, grabbing the guard beneath his arms.
Let's go leave this unpleasant fellow in Sir Four Eyes' tender care, shall we?
Hold on a moment. I want to know why you were spying on Rivian and me first.
I mean, he is safe. Celeste, who appears to have regathered her composure, somewhat transient and accusing glare to Franz. Holy shit. He's my bodyguard. I mean, we could get more information out of him, but I trust him enough. He's my bodyguard. I'm with her. I offer Celeste a reassuring grin.
Actually, Franz here is my unofficial bodyguard. With all the unpleasant murder business going on, I thought it'd be best to have someone at my side.
Franz looks a little surprised by my response, shooting me a curious look. Sure, let's play with it. It doesn't take long, though, for his eyes to light up warmly. He nods in agreement, bowing a little to emphasize my statement.
It's as he says, my lady. I have to keep a close watch on him at all times so that he doesn't accidentally get his pretty head lopped off.
That may be true, but still, you look awfully familiar. I could have sworn I'd seen you somewhere else before.
Oh, you probably have. No, you probably have. As Celeste studies Franz suspiciously, I realize she doesn't fully recognize his identity. But if she's the ambassador's daughter and he's part of the Peruvian royal family, they probably encounter each other before at some diplomatic event.
I think you may be mistaken, miss. I'm merely a common chivalrous rogue, dedicated to rescuing such damsels in distress as you two.
Fuck you. Franz ignores my burning glare, yep, and just grins wolfishly instead. Though she still looks doubtful, Celeste huffs a little and shrugs her shoulders, adjusting her hair with one hand.
Well, I'll let you two deal with them. Papa's probably word sick about me, so I'd better get back to our family suite.
You probably should. She pauses, glancing over towards me with her lips pursed slightly in concern.
Be careful, Rivian. I'm going to lay low until after the party's over, and you should probably do the same. And make sure not to trust just anyone.
That's right. Celeste shoots a look over towards Franz. Delicate frown on her pale features before she shakes her head and hurries towards the door. She disappears around the corner, and within a few seconds, her lightly pattered footsteps fade into silence. Franz and I are left alone in the storeroom, well, save for the unconscious man snoring in Franz's grip.
Well, let's get back to the hall, shall we? Best get our sleeping beauty here safely locked away before he wakes up, after all.
You're right. Grab his other arm. We'll make quicker progress with the two of us hauling him along. Unless you'd rather just walk ahead of me and provide a nice view, of course.
Franz. Goddamn perv. Hold of the so-called guard's arm. Together with Franz, we drag his body into the hallway. It's heavy enough that couldn't they have taken off his armor at least, so he's not as heavy? I don't think I could lift him myself, but Franz seemed completely unstrained. Bring him into the hall, where Franz finds the nearest actual guard patrolling outside the window. Call him inside and explain to him what happened. The guard, who seems a little shaken and embarrassed, confirms that the man is an imposter. He agrees to take the man to holding cells and calls Linus, I was going to say Silas, Linus to question him, apologizing profusely for not recognizing something funny about his false compatriot sooner. With our murderous cage safely delivered, Franz and I leave the guard's company and head upstairs, slightly uncomfortable silence hanging between us as we return to the upper halls. A burning question weighs in my mind while we walk, so I decide to bring it up rather bluntly.
I heard that you were showing a lot of interest in Celeste during the celebration. You know her?
Trying to sound as casual as possible, I glance in Franz's direction. Shoots a quick look towards me, his eyes widening briefly in surprise before his brow furious slightly.
I know who her father is, and I'm not fond of him. I suspected she'd be involved in whatever unpleasant business was going to happen, but I thought she'd be a participant rather than a target. I still don't trust her, but I doubt she'll pose much of a problem. Besides, I think she likes you too much to want you killed.
That would make sense. Is in my imagination, does Franz sound a little annoyed? Both of us getting the impression that the other had taken liking to Celeste? Well, no matter, I feel a little relieved knowing the truth, even though I shouldn't care about it one way or another. Franz still walking at my side, I head in the direction of my room, expecting him to break off at some point to say he's going to his own chambers. Then I remember, our rooms are right next to each other. That is true. Starting to wonder if he didn't plan that all along somehow. We reach our respective doors before long, and I move towards mine, clearing my throat pointedly.
Well, I should thank you again for what you did tonight. I do wish you'd be a little less sneaky about following me, though.
Franz stops next to me, gazing down into my eyes with the intense glimmer in his own emerald orbs.
You'd rather me follow you openly, then? Should I attach myself to you and keep you trapped forever in my arms?
God damn it.
No, I really wasn't implying...
Larger male suddenly steps in closer, pulling me into his arms and pressing up against me until our chests are flushed together. His heavy weight pins me against the wall and makes it so that I can do a little bit squirmer fluidly in his grip, feeling much like a mouse caught in a cat's paws.
This
Oh,
is
hello.
the third time. I swear, I'm going to report you to the guards for harassment.
I growl in annoyance, but the fear and anger that filled me during our first meeting is difficult to muster this time around. One of Franz's arms curls itself around my wrist, while his fingers press behind me and run through my hair, grabbing a rough handful.
But it's so hard to keep my hands off you, kitten. Your innocence and fire are like a drug I just can't get enough of.
He presses closer, leaning in towards my neck. A hand at my hair pulls my head back slightly, exposing my throat. Franz presses his lips to my skin hotly. Ooh. Letting out a warm exhale that rolls off my flesh. Sensation causes a sweet shiver to course down my spine and my breath catches. Traces a warm, wet line of kisses along the curve of my neck, all the way towards my ear. Catching the lobe in his teeth, he nips it softly before dragging his tongue along the tender skin, nuzzling against me.
It wasn't my intention to treat you like this. Not at first. But after we met on the balcony, something about your spite, your stubbornness, sent me tumbling into infatuation. You just keep refusing to be caught, and I adore it. Each time you slip away will make it so much sweeter when I finally capture you and make you mine.
Franz is great. I don't know if I mentioned that. His low purr rumbles promising in my ear. My heart starts to pound harder with each word. It sounds so earnest, so longing. But surely those words are empty. Isn't he just telling me what he thinks I want to hear?
And why exactly do you believe you'll be able to make me yours? I'm not the sort to play around, Franz.
Voice comes out soft and slightly uncertain. I can only pray to the gods that no one decides to walk down the hallway at this moment while I was listening from behind their door. I think I'd die of shame. Franz presses his lips almost ravenously to one of my flustered cheeks, bringing our mouths slightly closer together.
Oh, I don't intend to play around, kitten. I plan on keeping you all to myself. And you're a jealous little thing, aren't you? I'll nurture that until you're as possessive of me as I am of you.
How does he know I'm jealous? It's not my fault I'm unused to being toyed with. He's playing so unfairly.
Sounds like a healthy relationship. Are you going to put a collar on me too?
You're already wanting to be my little pet, are you? That can be arranged. I had no idea you were into such naughty things.
Oh god. Well then, I had a feeling he was going to imply that. Before I could so much as mutter out a retort, Franz uses the grip on my hair to abruptly press my head forward. Smashing our lips together in a hungry kiss, hard enough almost to hurt, climax of a passionate buildup that makes me tremble a little in his arms. The resistance leaves me, and I press back against Franz a little bit, parting my lip to let his tongue press into my mouth and dance with my own. His head, taste, and scent, one of the mingled sweetness and spices, floods my sense, makes me feel a little dazed. He presses his thigh between my legs, tying it to us together as he greedily claims my lips with long, wet kisses, yet hot enough to make my whole body feel practically on fire. Well, okay. How long is this gonna go? I wonder. Because there's no reason for me to cut this out. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's pretty alright. So delicious euphoria coursed down my spine, my hips. An embarrassing heated sound leaves my mouth when Franz breaks off the kiss to bury his face against my neck, biting at the soft flesh. I know full well that'll leave a bruise, but I can hardly say that at the forefront of my mind. He lavished my jaw, cheeks, and lips with several more kisses, leaving wet marks on my skin, before finally pulling back a little bit, voice so lowered in a silk growl.
I'm taking you tomorrow night to the masquerade ball. You're going to feel like a princess by the time the night's over, and I plan to dance with you more than just in the ballroom.
Oh, so if it's tomorrow, it's been 4 days, so I was right on that. For some reason, I was thinking of when we started this that the start of the game wasn't day 1. But I guess it was, so we do have 4 days. Tomorrow will be the last day, maybe? Unless there's like some sort of secret extra day where it's like, now to get the culprit or something. I don't know. Franz offers me a warm, predatory smirk, his eyes gazing into mine as if I'm the only thing, any conscience in his world at this moment. At the same time, I feel like this game might be longer than I think, because I'm not sure how many CG images we have of Franz, because I think we have like, I don't know, 3 now, out of 10 or 8? So we'll see how this goes.
You're awful. A princess doesn't go rolling around in the sheets with her bodyguard. You'll have to try harder.
Chuckle softly, his fingers releasing their grip on my hair and tracing down the back of my neck slowly and longingly. At last he gradually loosens the embrace and steps back, still watching me with that intense and unwavering look on his face.
Just you wait. I'll have you begging for me at the end of a few dances, kitten. Until then.
Franz reaches out towards the door in his room, casting a lingering glance back towards
I'll
me.
see you in the morning. Make sure you dream of me, although my balcony door's unlocked. Should you wake up in the middle of the night, wanting the real thing.
Do we get the option?
Don't flatter yourself.
Probably not then. So I shake my head at him, huffing before unlocking my own door and quickly pushing aside before he changes his mind and attacks me again. Slamming the door shut behind me, I let out a long, heavy exhale, resisting the urge to give into my still shaky legs and slump down to the floor. I can't believe that just happened. Or more precisely, that I let it happen so easily. There have been only a few people I've felt anything for in the past, but I didn't think it would possibly I didn't think it was possible to get swept up by someone so quickly. The more I learned about Franz, the more mysterious he becomes. I still don't know how he's familiar with my father, or why he visited me on the first night and was so intent on protecting me. But I can't deny the warmth I feel from being in his arms. The rush of excitement that his attentions, however solace they may be, give me. To think I've gotten from a self-respecting young man to gushing like a dazzled maiden in the span of a few days. Well, all I can say is that I'm quite glad that my parents didn't accompany me to this affair, I would imagine. After I catch my breath and recover my sense of composure, I rest and slip into bed, this time properly diving under the covers. There can't be many hours left until morning. I might as well catch the last bit of sleep before tomorrow. Probably need it since there's still work to be done. Not out of the woods yet, the second murderer is still on the loose. With my eyes closed, I feel the lingering warmth from Franz's lips on my skin, shivering slightly and shaking my head to rid of it improper thoughts. It takes a little while of restless tossing and turning, but eventually the haze of slumber settles back over me and I drift off into unconsciousness.
Chocolate.
Okay.
Don't put that there. It tickles.
Are you dreaming of Franz, Rivian, and chocolates? Loud knocking on my door suddenly bursts the bubble of my pleasant dreams. Startled awake, I push myself upright, blinking to rid my eyes of haziness. Inside my window, the sky is unusually dark. Soft pattering of droplets against the glass makes me realize it must be storming.
Coming. I'm coming. One moment.
Pull my clothes as fast as I can, missing a few buttons, and rush over to the door to pull it open. Oh. I really doubt it's her that's the culprit, or the other murderer, because even though it was a smaller person, I'm pretty sure we heard two guys. So I doubt she's the killer, or maybe she is, she's somehow involved. So rather than the face of someone I was expecting like Franz or Silas, the person standing before me is none other than Hazel's mother, the maid Emily.
Sir Rivian, it's terrible. I did something awful. Please help me.
What? Looking like she's about to break into tears, Emily bites her lower lip and stares up at me pleadingly.
Let's calm down, shall we? Step inside for a moment and tell me what happened.
Part of me now just doesn't want to trust her. Just for her to enter my room a bit awkwardly, and she hurries past the door with an anxious nod. Well, what an excellent start to my morning. Hysterical maid begging me for help. I'm sure this can only pretend great things for the rest of the day? I can't speak. After I close the door behind us, I turn back to Emily, frowning at her desperate expression.
Slow down for a moment, Emily, and take a deep breath. Now, what's the matter?
It's Lady Valora. She's been apprehended by the guards.
What? I blink. Surely I must have misheard. My aunt arrested?
Are you sure you're talking about Valora, the King's Foreign Affairs Advisor? Old stuffy lady, gruesome personality?
Yes, I am. I know you're elated, and I was afraid to come to you because I thought you'd be angry, but I don't know who else to ask.
And she somehow did this? For how pale and visibly unsettled the woman is, she's clearly done something related to Valora's apprehension. It's made quite bad, too. I'm not sure how else they'd have grounds for detaining a woman of her position.
Well, I'm sure everything was just a big misunderstanding. Why did they arrest her? Glaring too angrily at the Inquisitor?
Emily swallows hard, grasping the hem of her skirts so hard that her knuckles start to turn white.
They found a weapon in her room, a knife covered with dried blood. It matches the wound on the victim from the other night, and so she's been taken in and charged with murder.
Clearly she's being... what's the word? Not... Was it blackmail? I'm having a hard time coming up with words now. So that is it? Part of me wants to say it's blackmail. I can't think of it. So whatever, I'm just gonna continue on. So at that, my jaw practically hits the floor. My old baddie and a murderer? Possible, and yet why on earth was something like that in her room?
But Sir Rivian, I think that knife was there because of me.
Whoa, whoa, hold on there. Because of you? I need some more details, Emily.
She brushes her trembling fingers through her hair, inhaling and exhaling a deep breath in a visible attempt to claim herself.
Well, 2 nights ago, I was cleaning the upper halls when suddenly one of the guards approached me. He gave me a small bundle of wrapped cloth and told me it was something Lady Valora had dropped, but as she was down in the ballroom, I ought to leave it in her room when I went to clean it. I thought it was, well, a little strange, but I didn't see any reason not to trust one of the guards. So when I went to Lady Valora's chambers, I tucked the wrapped cloth inside one of her top drawers, since she is a very fastidious lady and does not like anything lying around her room.
Tell from her. So that guard we apprehended, that guard was probably the same one that had her leave the knife then. Like, tell from her crestfallen, guilty tone voice that she's beating herself up inside for being used to frame. That's what, she's being framed! Blackmail, what am I thinking? She's being framed, that's what it was. It's difficult to really blame her, though I can guess who the guard she spoke with was. Must have been right after the murder. Now that I think about it, didn't that brawler from earlier say he saw her in the hallway then? Oh, yeah.
The thing is, I couldn't shake the horrible feeling that I got from speaking with the guard. The way he gave me the bundle and very slowly, quietly, told me to put it in her room. It was almost like he was threatening me. It made me feel so nervous that my hands were shaking on my way to Lady Valora's chambers. But I thought that if I complained about the guard to someone in charge, I'd be punished or mocked for it, so I said nothing.
Okay. She trails off in an almost inaudible murmur, closing her eyes for a long moment, and dropping slowly towards the ground. Poor woman looks like she's ready for me to start yelling at her at the top of my lungs, as she's some sort of puppy who just chewed up all the expensive furniture. Of course, Valora's life is a bit more important than furniture, only slightly though.
Well, this is a proper mess, isn't it? Did you explain all of that to the Inquisitor, though? I'm sure he's reasonable enough to see it was a setup.
Just when I thought Emily was already white as a ghost, she seems to somehow grow a shade paler.
The thing is, sir, that wasn't all they found. There was something else. A blood-stained cloth, hidden in her personal chest, which only she has the key to.
Ah, shit.
I didn't put it there, and only Silas and I hold the master keys for the guest chambers. But I know it wasn't Silas. I'd sooner trust him before myself. And so, Lady Valora must have known about the cloth.
Fusion clouds my mind as I parse Emily's concerned words. Still don't see how Valora could possibly be a killer of anything except hopes and dreams, that is. Why did she have something incriminating? My aunt's a smart woman. Whatever she was doing with that cloth, I'm sure she knows the risk of keeping it in her room.
I'm starting to think this was a very well-planned setup. The key is just to find who's moving all the pieces into place.
I don't mention it aloud to Emily, but it sounds very plausible that the disciple of Ignatius are behind this too. Both kill Ambassador and worsen relation, but even further by framing a foreign advisor for it. It's a perfect plan to force 2 countries into war.
I think you're right, sir. I want to see Lady Valora freed and apologize for everything. I don't know what I should do. And I fear if I involve myself too much, my little Hazel may be in danger.
True. Main gazes at me pleading, as if expecting me to solve everything and save the day right then and there.
You've been quite helpful, Emily. Don't be too hard on yourself. I'll find a way to figure this out.
We do have... Yeah, well, somehow, but we have the rest of this whole day.
I believe in you, sir. The king always put such faith in your father to solve every problem that came up, and I'm sure you'll become even more famous than he was.
And what's the laws my father's brought up like always? Still, Emily means well. So it's difficult to get too annoyed at her. And I'm pretty sure she'd burst into tears if I so much as gave her an angry look right now.
Yes. Well, that aside, I'll reach out to you should I have any questions. In the meantime, don't go taking any more parcels from strangers, eh?
As you say, sir. Thank you so much, and best of luck to you.
She gives me a grateful courtesy and hurries back to the door, quietly slipping out into the hall. I'm left with a renowned, uncomfortable sense of responsibility, and I sigh quietly while rubbing the bridge of my nose. It's one thing to look out for myself, but now I have to try and get Valor off the hook too? Much as I try to put on a brave face for Emily, I feel like this is quickly measuring up to an impossible task. As if to echo my sentiments, distant thunder rumbles lowly like the growl of some unseen danger. It's not grouse too. Well, I'm also hungry too. Reminding me that I haven't eaten since yesterday afternoon. There was so much going on that I didn't even think about. Well, I could always stand to lose a few pounds, probably. Well, I mean, it's good enough time to end the video now. After with all that now. So if you guys enjoyed the video, go with the like button. If you want to be notified of the next part or anything I make, go with the subscribe button. Got anything to say something on slow. I kind of mumbled all that. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Comrades,